Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing our weekly check-in messages, see what you need to know the most this week, if there's anything significant that you need to be aware of. Okay, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I do really appreciate that. It really does help out with the algorithms, all that sort of stuff, being a non-monetized channel. All my info is in the description box if you're looking for any way to contact me and all that sort of stuff. As are the timestamps for the individual signs. All right, but we're just doing a bit of a check-in reading today. Like I said, seeing what's important to come through for you here. Excuse my hair. I blame the chlorine. I was in the pool yesterday, so it's thrown my hair a bit crazy today, so I do apologize. But today we are going to be using the Mystic Forest Oracle cards, as well as the Scarlet Ruin Lenormand. Okay, starting off with our Aries, and like I said, timestamps in the description box. You're more than welcome to check multiple placements as well. Okay, Aries, what's most important for Aries to know right now? Anything significant happening for Aries this week that they need to be aware of, please? Aries, inner strength coming through for you here, Aries. Okay, you are stronger than you think. You are rediscovering your unshakable power within your spirit through challenges. Okay, so that does kind of let us know that it is a week where you may need to just, rally yourself together and stand strong, because there may be a challenge that you're having to face this week. For some of you, I am picking up that it's kind of like an ongoing challenge, and this week it just seems to be like the week where you're having to sort of really pull it together to rally against that challenge. Aries, what's most significant for Aries this week, please? What does Aries most need to know right now? Yeah, definitely seeing some challenges coming through for you this week. We do have the clouds on the bottom of the deck there. So for some of you, the biggest challenge may be, within your own thought process, in the way that you're thinking about things, or overthinking about things, or, sort of going down these rabbit holes where everything is horrible kind of energy there, and the negative thinking, Aries, maybe just sort of getting a little bit overwhelming for you this week. We do see here, though, the snake coming through first, and that's actually followed by the mountain, Aries. Okay, so for some of you, this may be connected to a Scorpio or a Capricorn for some of you. I'm picking up sex energy off that for a couple of you there, that the Scorpio is definitely one of the sex cards. And I'm getting, with the mountain there, that does talk about blockages or obstacles or delays. So for some of you, I am picking up that, especially for those of you who are male, there may be some sexual delays or blockages, or something that you're struggling with when it comes to physical sexual stuff. I'm just picking up on that because it's kind of like you're getting in your own head, and that's what's making the physical, it's coming out in a physical way for you here, Aries. And you're sort of thinking it's just a physical issue, but it's not. It's actually starting from, the thoughts. There's something going through your head instead of... Please don't say it so crassly. It's just giving me some very descriptive terms here. But, because we see the snake can also come through sometimes as the physicality for a male appendage, all right? So there might just be some blockages you're having with that, some obstacles, but it's coming from your thoughts more so than anything. It's kind of like telling me here that you may be... it's because the snake tends to have a lot to do with illusions or deceptions, betraying our own body, being betrayed by our own body, that kind of thing as well. I'm picking up on all those sorts of messages there. But it's kind of like you've got this illusion in your head, and when reality is not matching that illusion, that's when we're encountering this issue. So you're kind of, you're in your head, things seem to have to be a certain way, or there's certain physical requirements that need to be met for you to be able to perform, Aries, that kind of stuff. For some of you, it's because you're, like, I am just getting a very specific message that some of you are actually, you kind of stuck on somebody, and you're thinking, maybe thinking about somebody who's not the person that you're being physical with. And that's the blockage, is that you're not actually, in the moment, you're not actually in the physical. You're in your head when it comes to that. But that is just a small portion of you, specifically male Aries coming through with that. It doesn't seem to be female energy attached to that. But for those of you, in more general speaking, for those of you who are, the feminine Aries there, you're kind of creating some obstacles in your own mind space, and kind of creating this, it's kind of like this illusion, once again, this illusion of what things have to be like. And when they're not matching that standard, that's when you're hitting these brick walls in your life and feeling as though everything's delayed, or everything's too hard, or everything's just a big blockage here for you at the moment. But it's got to do with, once again, the way that you're thinking about things, thoughts that are getting stuck in your head, the way that you're putting this illusion as prominence, and everything has to be this specific picture that I've got in my head. And when it's not matching that, that's when you're really struggling, and you're really facing, a challenge within your own self, and that negativity is coming through. Okay, Aries. So a bit of a struggle this week with those sorts of things. But I feel like for a lot of you, just to know that this is actually coming from your own thoughts and your own, you're creating this negativity in your life, Aries, that, these things, it's just an illusion, right? The snake is an illusion. It's deceiving yourself and making things harder for yourself. All right. So you do just need to rally force this week and stand tall and strong in your own power. Check out that stand in your power message and loving on yourself messages that we have had in the most two recent all signs videos there, Aries. There may be something for you in how to overcome this mountain. But it's really about being determined to, overcome your own thoughts that are holding you back, to overcome that little voice in the back of your head that is holding yourself back here. We do also see the key coming through for you here as well, Aries. So, it's kind of like time to open up to other possibilities here, to, instead of seeing just the obstacles and the delays and the things that are blocking you, to open yourself to other possibilities that, hang on, maybe things could go right. Maybe things could actually be positive. And I'm just allowing myself to believe in the negativity here. Opening yourself up to, your own heart space a little bit more rather than your head space would definitely help as well. But, there are new opportunities on the horizon here. It's just a matter of, persevering and being determined to stand strong and get through this challenge, because with every challenge, there does come, the other side of that. Once you get through that, things start to move a bit smoother. So this week is just one of those ones where you're just having to rally your strength a little bit here, Aries, in order to get through that. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Definitely subscribe to the channel. We will move on over to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, what does Taurus need to know this week? Anything significant that Taurus needs to be aware of this week, please? Taurus, okay, we're seeing the power in silence coming through for you here. True power does not lie in your words. Within quiet moments, Your intuition grows louder, revealing truths and that words could never fully express. All right, so sitting in silence with yourself a little bit this week, Taurus, and it's kind of like in between all the noise of your life, looking for the truth in amongst, in the quiet patches between, in the spaces within, the spaces between all the noise and all the clutter and all the things going on. That's where the truth really lies for you this week, Taurus. So looking for it in the silent pieces of your life, because it's not just the silence as in quiet. It's this patches within, like the space within. So you can kind of imagine if your week, for example, every single day except for Tuesday, you have events on, you have things to do, and then Tuesday you have nothing on. That's actually where the truth and the revelations come through on the Tuesday, and that's the quiet part of the week for you. The silent day of the week for you, and that may be where you actually gain the most momentum, is in that silence. Okay, Taurus, but we'll clarify with the Lenormand here. Taurus, what's most important for Taurus to be aware of this week, please? Messages for Taurus. Anything significant Taurus needs to pay attention to this week? Your emotions. Oh. So we do see the moon coming through first. So this may have been a very interesting full moon period for you, the one that's just passed here. It may have been a significant already this week for you, Taurus. Your emotions may be a little bit easily triggered this week, but once again, the power in the silence, that's where the truth comes from as well. The things that trigger us emotionally and stir us up emotionally do sort of speak a lot louder than the things that sort of don't mean anything to us. They just kind of move on past. But trusting your intuition is really, really strong right now, Taurus, especially because we do have the cross coming through next. So, your intuition is kind of trying to guide you towards your destiny, that there are things going on behind the surface here. There's something here. There is something here about Taurus. I'm just getting this sort of side message coming through that Taurus, you are responsible for your own emotions. Your emotions are your responsibility. Please try not to burden others with things that are coming from your emotions rather than coming from your truth. All right. So when you are getting a little bit triggered emotionally this week, don't take that out on other people. Work through those emotions and remember that you are responsible for your own emotions. There's just something significant about that this week, but we do see a very strong spiritual energy here as well, that you're having faith that your emotions are trying to push you in the right direction. You're not having these emotions and you're not having these triggers for no apparent reason, Taurus. There is a deeper meaning to it, and it's to help you move forward. It's to help you open up to wrong side of the card there. We see the key coming through there as well. So it's to help you open up to what's going on within, and to help you open up to, the truth of self. This is opening your heart space a little bit more here. This is opening yourself to new opportunities in your life, and to understand that, some of these opportunities are destined to be there for you, regardless of how you feel about it. All right. Some of these things are actually opportunities for you to grow and learn and heal, to sit in that silence of those emotions and work through some things for yourself, Taurus. There's a lot of opportunity coming from these things this week, and you may have some fated opportunities crossing your path this week as well, Taurus. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. But the opportunities that present themselves to you this week are significant. All right, they're not just cast off opportunities. They are going to be significant to your long term. All right, so pay attention to what opportunities come through this week. All right, but that's what we have for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Geminis. Okay. Gemini, what does Gemini need to know right now? Anything significant that Gemini needs to be aware of this week, please? Source of inspiration. Inspiration blooms in stillness. When you slow down, divine ideas flow effortlessly. See, slow down, otherwise you'll throw your words all around the place, Gemini. So yeah, you're just trying to rush into things a little bit much at the moment, Gemini, and it's time to just sort of slow down. And like you just saw with my little blur, it may actually just be, needing to stop and think about what you're going to say before you sort of rush on into saying it all in one go. All right, I'm very guilty of that myself, Gemini. So Gemini, what's most important for Gemini to know right now? Anything significant that Gemini needs to be aware of, please? It does let us know that there will be, some positive ideas and, divine inspiration available to you in the energy this week, which is actually very, very interesting because it's coming through reflection, to be honest. We do have the mice coming through first, and that's actually followed by the coffin. All right, so we're definitely looking at something here from the past, something that you have lost or ended in your life. This situation is well and truly over and done with. It has ended. It is completely done. All right, because with the coffin there, we do see a death and a rebirth as well. But because the mice are in front of that, we definitely see that there's a very clear death of a situation or a relationship from the past that we're looking at here. Okay, and it's kind of, the coffin is a transformation in of itself, but we are seeing the source of inspiration here because we do also have the snake coming through there as well. So you're kind of revisiting the past in the sense of, this is giving very retrograde energy. I don't necessarily think that, this is you running into an ex or anything like that. It's just you reflecting upon a situation from the past that is, it's been over and done with for a while, I would say, with those two cards. But it's kind of like you're realizing in what ways you had created an illusion about that situation, and that's why, you felt it as such a loss. So it's kind of like you're seeing the truth of the matter now. You're understanding it from a slightly different perspective. Like, now that it's over and done with, you're able to go back and sort of review it under a different lens and see the ways in which you were deceived, see the ways in which you were betrayed, see the ways in which you kind of told yourself it was one thing when really it was another. So it's kind of like, for example here, you're reviewing a past relationship and you're now able to go back and see the red flags that you ignored. All right. That would be a really good example of what this is talking about. And you're now able to sort of use that to transform yourself in the future from not ignoring that red flag in the future, that kind of thing, that you're putting all that into good things now. You're, all the energy that you had been giving in the past to holding on to something with a sense of grief, with a sense of loss. You're now actually putting all that energy into seeing the truth of the matter, and feeling, having more divine ideas of, the full scope of what was going on there under the surface, rather than, just the hurt and the pain that you felt from losing that situation. You're now sort of clearing any deception, and you're able to now see the ways in which you were deceived or had deceived yourself by seeing something that was not there, or ignoring something that was. Okay, so it's a bit of a reflection, and it actually inspires you, gives you really, good ideas on how to move forward in the future as well, and what not to do in the future and what not to ignore in the future, and the things that you're seeing things in just a much more objective way, and it's really helping you see the truth basically here, and see things just without that lens of pain and grief attached to it. Okay, so that's what we're seeing for you, Gemini. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Cancer. Pardon? Okay, Cancer. Cancer, what's most important for Cancer to know right now? Anything significant that Cancer needs to be aware of this week? Oh, soul contract, Cancer. Every soul you encounter is not by chance. It plays a role in awakening you to higher love and purpose. We will need to clarify that a little bit, but I am picking up here, Cancer, I am getting a message here about the promises you make, okay, that, just there's something, it comes up every now and again, just the awareness of the contracts that you're making with people via promises or throwaway statements, okay, because we all are guilty of it. You run into somebody that you haven't seen for a very long time, and you say to them, oh, we'll have to catch up soon, I'll send you a message and we'll organize a catch up, but you don't actually message them and organize a catch up. You need to be aware of even those throwaway little statements that, we're all guilty of saying that to others, oh, we'll definitely have to catch up soon. You're actually contracting, you're making a soul contract, to that person. Soul contracts are not always these big things that are, true love contracts and all this. It can be sometimes in the littlest things that you say to yourself, oh, I definitely need to focus on, I'm going to start focusing on this. And then you don't actually start focusing on it. Oh, this year I'm going to join the gym. You make a New Year's resolution. This year I'm going to join the gym, but you don't actually join the gym. These are all soul contracts that you're making with yourself and with others around you, even in the smallest little ways. I'm also picking up strongly here, Cancer, that you made promises to somebody in regards to your future with them. I'm getting things like, oh, in the future, we should travel to XYZ together. We should do this together. I want to go and do this with you. And because I'm getting broke up, that never happened and never eventuated. You need to just do a cleanse. You can just do a cleanse and just say to the universe, look, I revoke any soul contracts, that are in my energy. You can sort of do some of those things, like breaking soul contracts is quite as simple as, just telling the universe that I don't want to hold myself to these contracts any longer. Cancer, any significant, anything significant that Cancer needs to be aware of? Important messages for Cancer, please. Yeah, it's definitely, like, for a lot of you, it's definitely got to do travel on the bottom of the deck there too, by the way. So you may have promised someone, oh, we will travel together, or, we will go on a holiday to this place together. Let's go overseas together. Let's, I'm going to come in to where you live and meet up with you. All those sorts of things. This is what's coming under the microscope as well. But we do have the lily and the moon coming through first. You've made a contract with somebody that my emotions are yours, like my emotions are connected to you. This is a simple contract of I'm going to be with you forever. I love you forever. I want to grow old with you and things like that. Those sorts of commitments that you've made to somebody on an emotional level. All right. You need to actually just consciously cancel those if they're no longer relevant to your life, because they are just still affecting you here beneath the surface. And, you know, if we don't cancel those contracts, they kind of get held against us. So it is important to cancel those contracts when we do cancel relationships, for example. We do also see the bear coming through here. So you may need to stand your ground this week with someone as well and say, look, I'm sorry, I can't promise you that. I can't promise to meet up with you if I have no intention of doing so. I can't make that promise to you. I'm sorry, but I cannot promise that to you. So you're just having to stand your ground and put up a boundary between yourself and somebody, especially when it comes to some sort of commitment or contract that you're making with them. And it's coming through just very simply as, I'll come see you next week. And you need to stand your ground and say, I will let you know when I can come see you. Right now, I can't make that commitment. Okay, so it's coming through just in that sort of a sense here today, Cancer. So that's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Leos. Okay, Leo, what's going on for our Leos? Anything important that Leo needs to be aware of, please? Leo. Energy of abundance. I'm hearing a Leo say, but it's too much. Abundance is not measured by possessions, but by peace and prosperity that rose naturally from your open heart. Okay, so peace and prosperity. It's kind of weird that I'm getting that message of, it's too much. I feel like some of you it's just because you're not used to it, all right? That you're just not used to these things that you know, sometimes positive things can feel uncomfortable just because we're so used to not having peace in our life. We're used to everything being hectic or whatever, that to actually just have a bit of peace and stillness is like, whoa, this feels weird, man. So just allow yourself to sit in that and know that it's okay to have a lot. It's okay to have peace. It's okay to be prosperous in whatever aspect that's coming through for you at the moment. I am aware some of the Leos are going through a bit of an awakening at the moment as well. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. Yes, it can be scary not going to lie. It's scary, but it is prosperity. All right. You wouldn't be having that if you did not your soul kind of asked for it or were ready for it. You know, you're ready for it one way or another. That's why it's happening. I know it's scary, but it's scary because it's uncomfortable. All right. But that's exactly what do we do when we don't know how to do something. Practice. We learn. Part of the process, Leo. Just side message for some of you there. Leo, what's most significant for Leo this week, please? And some of you kind of like, I don't know how to handle, like, this is too much. It's too much, because I'm picking up on like a Leo that is like, you're just being given a lot, like at the moment, and you just don't know how to handle it. You're kind of like, you kind of feel, there's someone here, you feel guilty for being given that. So I'm not sure exactly what that's about. But a lot of you definitely going through some heavy duty healing and awareness at the moment too. We do have the crossroads coming through first, followed by the coffin. Now this is quite interesting because I do have the scythe coming through after that. So this is, you're choosing something here. You're choosing to actually end something, break free from something. You're choosing the death of a situation, the ending of a situation. You're choosing to close off to something or break free from someone, to cut someone out of your life. And it's kind of happening very quickly. You're kind of choosing to do this very, very quickly. You're kind of, it's like part of this abundance and finding your peace is you're kind of realizing this does not bring me peace. This does not feel like abundance to me. Time to get rid of it. Okay, bang, gone, it's gone. And do you know what? I'm going to put all that energy into something else completely. So you seem to be doing something very, for some of you, it may even be to the point of impulsiveness, that you're like, that's it. Bang, gone, done. Not putting up with that anymore. I'm also getting, for someone here, it's kind of like, for someone here, it's like you're, like, it might actually have to do with like something from within your house. You're like, I'm so sick of this couch. That's it. Throw it. I'm throwing it out. I'm getting rid of it. I'm putting it on Facebook Marketplace and getting rid of it. And you put it up on Facebook Marketplace and 10 minutes later, someone's there taking it. And then you're sitting around there later going, oh, now I have no couch to sit on. Because it kind of feels like for some of you, you're like, you just do something so impulsively. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wow, I just did that. Okay. I'm just getting that energy of like, oh, okay, I just did that. Wow. Well, okay. Well, now that was a sudden choice, a rash kind of action I took there. But it works out for you. It just seems to be the most significant thing for you this week. Just roll with it. Just roll with it, Leo. You're following your intuition, I think, with that one. It's it actually does help create more abundance for you. So maybe you go, oh, okay, now I've got no couch. I better get back on Facebook Marketplace and find one I like better than that old one. You've gotten rid of that old one. Now let's find one that's actually more suited to, my space or my color scheme or, more comfortable. So that it works out. It does work out for you. And I feel like there's a bit of extra money around for you this week too, Leo. But that's just a bit of a side note. We will probably do a money reading in the next few days as well. All right, but making sure you subscribe to the channel. You're more than welcome to check other placements. And we will move over to Virgo. Virgo, what is going on for our Virgos? Anything that Virgo needs to be aware of this week, please? Virgo, the universe listens. Every wish you whisper is heard by the universe. It's responding in subtle, gentle ways that align perfectly with your heart. For some of you, I'm picking up as like the universe listens, so why aren't you asking? Why aren't you talking? You're not telling the universe what you want, all right? The universe responds, but the universe responds to what we tell it. The energy that we put out is the energy that we're telling the universe we want more of. All right. So if you're putting out negative energy, you're kind of like everything's going to be so horrible, everything's going to go wrong. That's what you're telling the universe that you want. All right. So just pay attention to what you're telling the universe with your words, your behaviors, the things that you're involving yourself with. It's all kind of telling the universe, this is what I want more of. All right. So I run on a more please to the universe system over here on the Crazyfaerie channel. We say, okay, universe, this makes me happy. Money makes, I found $10 on the side of the road. This is awesome. Thank you, universe. More please. You're telling the universe, I like the energy of money appearing in my life. More energy like that, please. So you need to remember sometimes that what you're putting out is what you're going to get back. All right. But we'll have a look here as well. Virgo, anything significant that Virgo needs to be aware of this week? What's going on for our Virgos? What does Virgo need to know? Coming through in a very straightforward kind of a way here, Virgo. We have the birds firstly here, followed by the moon, which is kind of, it's kind of saying very straightforward. it's the way that you talk about your emotions. The way that you talk about your emotions is the way is what the universe is listening to here. Is you choosing what path you wish your life to take. All right. So if you're choosing to talk about your emotions and you're putting out there, oh, I feel so horrible today. Everything feels like, I feel scared that nothing's going to work out for me. That's the path you're telling the universe you wish to take. Okay. There may also be an emotional phone call this week that changes the trajectory of your life for a couple of you. But it's about the way that you're expressing your emotions seems to be the highlight for a lot of you this week, that the way that you talk about your emotions and the way that you engage in conversations, that are involving rumors or gossip, it's kind of actually triggering the energy a little bit here. So you're needing to just be very aware this week of the way that you're putting things out into the universe and the way that you're talking about things, the way that you're talking about, especially your dreams and wants and whatnot, because you need to actually be choosing the path that takes you to those. And you need to actually consciously have conversations where you're sharing positive emotions and you're sharing hope and optimism for those future paths that you wish to walk. All right, because it's kind of like you are choosing which direction you want to take your life at the moment. You are in a bit of a crossroads that you're in your life in general here, and you're needing to really expressly tell the universe which direction I want my life to go from here. I need to consciously choose and exert my free will to choose the right path instead of accidentally choosing the wrong path through the things that I'm saying. And there's also something about, a whispered conversation late at night, like an emotional, it feels like whispered conversation. See the two birds like close to each other there, and we do have a lot of emotion with that moon. So I do feel like for some of you it's like whispering in somebody's ear your emotions towards them. That's coming through for some reason as well. Maybe somebody's doing that to you and it helps you, choose which direction you wish to go. I'm just getting like those late night whispered conversations before you go to sleep sort of thing. And it's like it actually helps you choose which direction you want to take the relationship or something along those lines. You're making some sort of decision about your life and where it's going this week, Virgo, but you're doing it through the way that you're talking and the way that you're expressing and the way that you're, putting it out there to the universe. So just be aware of that, okay, Virgo? It seems important to let you know about that. But that's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Libra. Okay, Libra. Okay. Anything significant that Libra needs to be aware of this week? What is going on for our Libra? Flow of destiny, Libra. Okay, everything unfolds in perfect rhythm. Trust that intangible arrangement guiding you gently towards what your soul truly seeks to experience. Okay, so sometimes what our soul seeks to experience and, help us grow and heal and all that sort of stuff, sometimes it's not exactly what we would want for, but, just trusting in that perfect rhythm, that it's all sort of happening for a reason. Okay, Libra. What's most significant for Libra this week, please? So this is trusting that life has had a purpose, all right, and that the things that have happened already have had a reason and a purpose to them, and that certain things that you have now lost, because we have the mice and the ring coming through first. So for quite a lot of you, this is a past relationship, a relationship that was lost to you in some way, whether it was a love relationship or a friendship. For some of you, it may even have been a cycle that was formed, like wondering why every time I meet someone, it always falls into the same pattern, the same sort of cycle. It's like I've met the same person, 5 times, but in different actual, different faces. So for some of you, there may have been a pattern that has sort of been created here, a structure that's been created, because we have the Tower there as well. So it's kind of like, this is heavy on the retrograde energy, but it's not necessarily a person actually showing up or anything like that. It's more to do with your reflection of something here, the way that you're looking back at things that are now lost to you, that have been, taken from you, or, things from your past, specifically relationships and patterns or cycles, and how they have actually created the foundation of who you are and created this structure in your life that, you're now wanting to isolate yourself from that pattern, that cycle, those types of people, kind of thing. And understanding that there's a reason that, those things did happen in your life, and you did meet those people, you had those relationships, because it's all part of this flow of your destiny, that in order to learn what you truly want and desire and need in a relationship, you had to experience those things, in those cycles, in order to break free from that pattern, so that, when things, in order to, because there's something about it, it's part of the structure that it's created in your life, and it's created this foundation within you that, without having gone through those things, you would not be the solid form that you are now. Does that kind of make sense? It's and there's definitely you isolating yourself from this pattern as well. So that's definitely coming through, that you're now isolating yourself from this pattern, and isolate your, now that it's kind of like, now that you're able to see and isolate what that pattern has been in the past, that's you're more able to separate yourself from that now and moving into the future. But if you hadn't have had those experiences, you would not actually be able to separate yourself from that energy. And so it may actually, there's a reason that you've needed to go through these things, that maybe it's separating you from those things now, so that you can now move towards something completely different, or that it's kind of this energy of like, if I never had have met that person, I then would have never done this, which then led me to that kind of thing. So there's something about that coming through, and you're kind of realizing, how those structures have, shaped your life and shaped who you are today. So it's a bit of reflective energy for you this week, I feel, Libra. But that's what you're seeing for Libra. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will move on over to our Scorpios. Pardon me. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio, what is going on this week for our Scorpios? Anything significant that Scorpio needs to be aware of this week, please? Moving forward bravely. Something about the Wicked Witch of the West there too. Kind of like, sometimes you need to be the Wicked Witch in order to move forward bravely. Sometimes you need to be the bad guy in somebody else's story in order to, just live your life the way that you need to. That it's okay to be the bad guy in somebody else's story. And I'm seeing that meme as well, that I might be the bad guy in your story, but you're the clown in mine. So that may be relevant to some of you there as well, that moving forward from something that has happened where, you have been maybe perceived as the bad guy in a situation, or, things have left it looking as though you are the bad guy, but it's kind of like owning it and going, okay, well, I might be the bad guy for you, but that's not my story at all. That's not the be all and end all of the situation. I'm happy for you to think I'm the bad guy because, at least that way you're not going to care when I move away from that. Something about that coming through, Scorpio. Every choice you make is a declaration of faith. Step forward courageously, knowing that each action aligns you closer to your destiny. All right, so you're moving away from all that, moving away from that, and moving away from, feeling guilt or feeling shame over being the bad guy. You're kind of like, I don't even care anymore. If I'm the bad guy, so be it. That's fine. If you need me to be the bad guy in your story, cool story. Needs more dragons. Scorpio. What's most significant for Scorpio this week, please? Because it's enabling you to just move forward. No looking back now, Scorpio. Which you're definitely moving away from that. Okay, because firstly, we do see the past coming up here with the mice and the snake. All right. And we're seeing, the mice is something that was lost, something that was taken from you, something from the past here that, stressed you out. And, the snake is like the deception and the betrayal that sort of entwined with that situation in the past here. Once again, I feel like for a lot of you maybe have been trying to stand against this deception and say, I'm not the bad guy. I know I'm not the bad guy. That's a deception that I'm the bad guy. That's the illusion that I'm the bad guy. I lost just as much from this situation, that kind of thing. But you're moving away from that. We have the rider coming through here as well. So this is kind of like a week of like closure and finally just accepting that, let them say what they will, kind of thing. If I'm the bad guy, so be it. I'm on my own journey. I'm getting up on that horse and I'm riding off into the sunset, and I'm turning my back and I'm moving away from this situation anyway, even if it hurt, even if it stressed me out, even if I was deceived, even if I was betrayed. It doesn't even matter anymore. Well, obviously it still matters, but it doesn't even matter to me anymore because I'm not going to let it hold me back to the past anymore. I'm going to move forward anyway. I'm going to keep on going. I'm not going to let that hold me back anymore. So pretty courageous energy for you this week, Scorpio. But we do definitely see, it's kind of like, it feels like a final release, like a, I don't even care anymore. Say what you will. I'm moving away from that altogether. If you need to keep saying that, I'm not even going to fight against that anymore. You can just think whatever you want to think. I'm going in my own direction. I don't care about what, you staying around that situation and, victim, because it feels like someone is, it literally feels like someone in your past here is playing the victim. All right. And you, up until now, you have been trying to fight against that and say, they're not the victim. They're not the victim. I didn't do anything wrong, kind of thing. But you're kind of just like, whatever, play the victim. That's going to just keep you stuck back there. That's fine because I'm moving on. I don't need to be back there and worrying about that anymore. I'm moving forwards with my own life. You can just do what you want to do. So I think this is actually a really good turning point for you in that sort of releasing kind of energy. Okay, Scorpio. So that's what we're seeing for you. I'm more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel. We will have a look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what's going on for Sagittarius this week? Anything significant Sagittarius needs to know right now, please? Sagittarius. Free spirit. I'm getting back my groove. For some reason it's telling me Emperor's New Groove, but it's kind of like I'm getting back into my groove. I don't know why it's referencing the Emperor's New Groove. It's just probably the word groove coming through. Something about groove. You're in your groove. You're in your grove. Something about that too. When you stop pleasing others and start honoring yourself, that's when your soul truly begins to achieve freedom and peace. Okay, so you're not people pleasing anymore. We're leaving that behind. It's 2026, guys. We're doing what we need to do for ourselves, for our own soul, to achieve your own freedom and peace in this world. Stop worrying about everyone else's, and just do what you need to do for you. Okay, Sagittarius. What's going on for Sagittarius? What's most important for Sagittarius to know right now, please? Some really good energy here. Okay, we see the fish coming through first. Abundance. All right, prosperity. Prosperity can be a lot more than just money as well. Although for a lot of you, I do feel as though this is just like, I'm just going to do what I need to do. Focus on what I need to focus on. And, for some of you, that's going to be getting my money sorted out the way I want it. But for others of you, it's kind of like this energy this week of you kind of looking around at your life and kind of going, do you know what? I've kind of got everything I need. I might not have everything I want, and I might not have millions of dollars or whatever. But, the most important things, I'm looking around my life and I'm going, you know what? The most important things are that person there that makes me happy. This opportunity over here to just be at peace and have fun. That opportunity over there to just live. There's kind of like an abundance in your life that's here, that's coming through in love, in friendship. Definitely friendship. We have the dog there as well. So it's like an abundance of, loyalty in your life, and you're looking around and realizing I can turn to all these people. I have all these people that are very loyal, and I know I can rely on them when I need to. I've got support when I need it. I've got friends, I've got family, I've got, and that's not necessarily the case for all of you, but it's like you've still got that. You're feeling that energy, that when all else fails, I know that I am loyal and I am dependable, and that creates abundance for me just in that itself. There's something here that you can rely on, that offers you support. I am picking up here too that for some of you it's something to do with I've got people that I can just message that I haven't spoken to for years, and I know they've still got my back. Something along those lines for some of you. We do also see the child coming through here as well. So for some of you, this person that is very supportive and loyal and that you can rely on is actually like an adult child that is more like a friend than your actual child. For others of you, it's kind of like there's a specific friend who brings this light into your world, that brings this sense of adventure into your world everywhere they go, kind of thing. And every time that you're with them, it brings you into this abundance of positive energy, because they're just so playful and free-spirited. And, we're seeing that free-spirited energy for you this week. So, spending time with that person is definitely recommended if you've got someone like that you can think of. But, it's just this innocence that this person brings to the way that they approach the world. And once again, for some of you, this is all within you yourself, that you're seeing this beautiful part of yourself that you're like, I am a good friend. I am this beautiful, innocent creature that, I can have fun and I can just enjoy life. And, that is what it's all about for me right now. That is freedom in its truth, is being able to just enjoy life no matter what's happening, good and bad. That I can just enjoy the prosperity of self and, having fun with it all. That what's the point of this life if it's not being lived and it's not being experienced? It's all part of the adventure, So I feel like you're just in a very happy kind of energy this week, and it's got to do with, stopping and looking around at the prosperity and abundance that does already exist for you. The fact that you are very free-spirited or have a lot of free spirit around your energy. It's actually really lovely for you, Sagittarius. For some of you too, it's coming through in an actual pet, an actual dog. All right, having it's kind of giving you, that dog kind of gives you this lease on life that you stop and you think about it and like, how boring would my life be without that pet? So it may be a pet for a couple of you as well. Man's best friend. But that's what we're seeing for you. You are more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to our Capricorns. All right, Capricorn. What's going on for Capricorn? Anything that Capricorn needs to be aware of? Oh, I'm hearing the phrase, Capricorn, you desperately need to know this. Why am I hearing the word desperately? Capricorn, the power of calm. Oh, maybe because you need, like, you're being a little bit too desperate with your energy. It's not always a bad thing, but you kind of just need to take it down a notch, Capricorn, with pushing for so much. And it's like, I desperately desire something. I don't know what this is. It'll come out as we go. Peace isn't found by avoiding the storm, but by standing in the middle of it with unwavering faith in your own strength. Ooh. So this is the power of, the calm in the middle of the storm. So maybe that's why I'm getting that desperately energy, because, it's like this cyclone going around you at the moment, Capricorn. I feel like it's maybe not actually even specifically your life that is the storm right now. It might just be like energy around you and like in the world around you. There might be a lot going on in your community right now, whatever that means to you. It might be something, there might be some stuff going on at work even. For some of you, it's like there's this big storm going on around you, and it's like everyone's kind of getting swept up into something, and you're just kind of standing there like, it'll be fine. Why are you all stressing so much? You're kind of very solid, rock solid in the middle of whatever's going on here, Capricorn. So maybe you're just sort of being the anchor in the storm for maybe someone around you who they are being desperate at the moment in some way. People desperately trying to secure their position at work or something like that. You're the rock, the unmoving, unwavering force. Capricorn, most significant energy for our Capricorns this week. So, maybe that's your real true power this week, Capricorn, is that you are the calm in the middle of the storm. You're the port to call on for others this week. I definitely feel as though that's exactly what it is, because look at this, Capricorn. We have the ring, all right? So relationships. We have the tower, all right? And then we also have the birds coming through here as well. So you're this tower energy that, the people that have like your relationship with your core, your foundation, your structure, your regimented energy, your, this is you standing tall and strong and firm in the middle of that storm. You're not allowing anything to topple you. You're, and your relationship with your own inner self and your own inner strength and power. You're like this tower that, nothing can, you're like a fortress kind of tower, and for some of you, it's like you're feeling a little bit isolated in the middle of all this as well. But there is relationships here as well. There's, it's kind of like the contracts and commitments that you make to yourself and others allow others to, like, everyone kind of, it's kind of like everyone is seeing you as this tower, as this refuge, as this, you may be isolated from everything kind of thing. You hold yourself separate to everything. And, sometimes the tower is also represented by a lighthouse as well. So you're this safe safe place, this safe port in the storm. And your relationship to just being solid and steady and knowing your foundation is strong, it's kind of like a leading by example thing, because the birds quite often is, like all this chatter going on around you. It's your relationship to gossip, your relationship to, rumors and things like that, and you're just standing very solid and not, being very unaffected. But this is also my card of, psychiatrists and psychologists, some good shrinkage. We all need that sometimes. But this is you at the moment, Capricorn. You're the one that everyone's coming and asking, Capricorn, can you just whisper in my ear that it's going to be okay? Capricorn, what's your advice on the situation? Capricorn, what would you do? So you're like the safe zone right now for maybe a few people, Capricorn. And so, even though it's weird because you're very isolated from whatever's going on here. You're kind of standing in the middle of it all and just standing very still. Like I'm getting someone, like this tower. You're solid. You're not moving at all. You're very, very stable, and, your foundation is strong. You're very grounded at the moment. And your relationship with yourself is actually, it's kind of, once again, leading by example. And you're offering advice to others, or, others are coming to you asking for your advice, Capricorn. And, you really are this safety zone, this safety zone for others right now. So, don't be surprised if there's a bit of storm around you this week, but you're all good. You yourself are all good. But just don't be surprised if other people are coming up to you this week a lot and seeing you as someone very rigid and very stable and very, Capricorn will know what to do. Capricorn has the answer. Capricorn knows exactly what to do, and they'll be able to tell me step by step what I have to do to get the results I need, or whatever. So really own it this week, Capricorn, because this is the most significant thing for you too. I feel as though this is actually going to really help you in some way, ultimately, by being this person for someone or others. Keeping your calm, no matter what's going on, is the best way for you to play the situation as well. It will benefit you somehow. All right. There is some benefit to you here. All right. Just, it's like your own power in some way. It increases your power in some way. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that's what we've got for you today, Capricorn. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Subscribe to the channel, and we will move on over to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. Okay, what's most important for Aquarius to know right now? Anything significant Aquarius needs to be aware of, please? Fire of rebirth. Yeah, I'm glad to see this energy for you, Aquarius. Every breakdown is a beginning of rebirth. Like a phoenix, you must burn through the old to rise higher than ever before. All right, so, Aquarius, if you haven't watched the 3 most recent readings, okay, the shadow work reading, the standing in your power reading, and the loving on yourself reading, I highly suggest you go back and watch those, because this is the next step to those readings. All right, we've been picking up something in your energy where you're just not really yourself lately. All right, and this is where it all comes to a point, and this week is where it's turning on its head. All right, and we're not, you've been through that breakdown. You've had to burn into a pile of ashes over the last few weeks or months, even for someone there. But and for some of you, it's only been a very short-term thing as well. But Don't despair. Don't despair. The fire of your rebirth comes now, all right? You're about to be reborn completely. It's just getting through this last little stretch, all right? Let's have a look. What's most significant for Aquarius to know right now? What's most significant for Aquarius, please? It's been hard. It's been hard. Not going to lie. It's going to change so quickly too. Look at that. That's the scythe on the bottom of the deck. That shows me, along with what I'm seeing here, this is going to change very, very quickly. It's all going to, make a big flip. We're doing a total 180 sometime this week for you, Aquarius, where things are totally flipping back the other direction, back into positive energy for you. We do have the mountain. It has been hard. There has been some obstacles, some blockages, some delays that you've been having to deal with. You've been putting in so much work. But do you know what? Your perseverance is about to pay off. All right? You're almost at the top of this mountain. All right? You've been feeling like you're climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing and not getting anywhere. But you are almost at the top. And once you're at the top, Aquarius, smooth sailing. Yeah, you can see your whole way for miles, so you know exactly where you're going. Smooth sailing. We have the ship. Oh, and did you just see that? It looked like it totally flared up. The fire flared up. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. The camera just picked that up so weird and it flared. Let's do it again. Oh, sorry. Very exciting. Very exciting because that's your energy this week. Things are moving forward. You are moving forward. It might feel like you're just slugging away and persevering and step by step by step. You are moving forward. You are traveling this journey. You're smooth sailing from here on out, all right? Things will flip this week for you. There might be some travel involved for some of you there as well, but that we saw that ship on fire there, right? We have the fire of your rebirth. It's a brand new adventure, a brand new journey for you here. All your ships are about to come in for you here. We do see the moon, so there might be some little last minute emotional triggers, emotional sensitivities. You've been struggling so much, Aquarius, that of course it's going to trigger you emotionally here and there. So just be aware of that. Treat yourself gently, but also trust your intuition, because I feel like for a lot of you've been saying to yourself, when is this going to flip? I feel like it's so close to paying off. This is the week, all right? This is the week. And for some of you, it's going to hold out until right at the last second. So whenever you see this video, all right, this is the weekly readings, but you may not see it as soon as it's uploaded. Whenever you see this video, within a week from then, all right? And for some of you, it's waiting until the very last second, all right? So keep that in mind. But when it happens, it will happen very, very quickly. We're moving forwards very quickly from here, all right? So keep faith, Aquarius. You're so close. You're almost there. All right. I love you guys. And you're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Definitely subscribe to the channel. And we will move on over to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. What is going on for our Pisces this week? Okay. Anything significant that Pisces needs to be aware of right now? Pisces, seeds of miracles. Okay, Pisces, firstly, I need to tell you about Tinkerbell. Pardon me. Okay, because, this is the Crazyfaerie channel, all right? I love fairies. I am a fairy, whatever. Fairies. Somehow fairies this week, Pisces. You might see an image of a fairy this week that's going to let you know that you're on your right path. But I'm getting Tinkerbell reference. Specifically, the very first Tinkerbell movie, when Tinkerbell is born, all right? It is a dandelion seed. You know those little the dandelion things that you blow and you make a wish? and the little seeds fly off into the air. Every time a child makes a wish and blows one of those dandelion things, and the dandelion seeds go off into the universe, they float along, and then one of them lands in Pixie Hollow, wherever, and upside down becomes Tinkerbell's skirt. All right, so you're this innocent little child blowing on a wish flower, making a little wish. Every wish becomes something greater. That's the whole story of the message, right? Every wish you make becomes something greater, becomes something unimaginable, becomes a fairy, okay? It could be something as amazing as a fairy at the bottom of your garden, all right? And then we always hear the thing about, I believe in fairies. Like, fairies exist because we believe in them, yeah? And, well, that's a convoluted story. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a deep dive on fairy and fae. I do identify as very, very connected with fae energy, but I do have a lot of opinions, and based on historical evidence and mythology and whatnot. I've got some interesting stuff I can probably share with you guys about that, especially being, the Crazyfaerie channel. You're part of the Crazyfaerie family. If you're here watching, love ya. Bit of a tangent today, guys. Fairies, seeds of miracles. That was coming through so strong. I had to share that with you. Every thought you plant will eventually blossom in an amazing way. That's literally what the card says, what I just said, right, guys? Every thought that you plant will eventually blossom in some amazing way. Every wish that you make out there to the ether becomes something bigger. It has the potential to become something so much more than this innocent little wish, all right? Every seed you plant grows. Oh, Pisces, what is going on with that? We need a bit more info for you here. Okay, Pisces. What's going on for Pisces this week? What's most significant for Pisces to be aware of, please? I keep getting drawn over there to that image, and it's giving me the phrase reflections of love as well. We do see a lot of growth. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the tree there. So we've got a lot of growth. For some of you, it's ancestral trauma. Growth with that. We do have the tower and the snake coming through first here, Pisces. It's kind of like the tower is talking about isolation for you today, Pisces. Keeping yourself separate so that you can't be deceived or betrayed. You're holding yourself, in isolation so that you can avoid betrayal. There's a bit of fear coming through here. Some sort of isolation that you've put yourself in to avoid deception or betrayal in some kind of a way here. But it's time to give back to the world again. All right, we have the flowers here. I'm getting a few extra messages here as well. I'm picking up a specific message for one of my Pisces that watches regularly. It's something about, okay, so this is specifically for M, but a couple of you guys might resonate with this as well. But it's something about the regimented, the structure, the thing that fits in with traditional viewpoints. That is the deception. That is the betrayal. That you may make sure you stay out of the regimented, structured thing, because there's something around your energy this week that's trying to kind of put you in a box, It's trying to kind of get you to follow a set tradition or set procedure that, oh, Pisces, this is the way it has to be done. Something is trying to tell you this is the way you have to do it. And it's and the message I'm getting here is, no, that's a deception. You need to give to that in any way you wish to, in what feels right to you. All right. So don't allow yourself to be put in that box this week, Em. Okay. So I don't know what that is all about, but that's a specific message there. But a couple of you may resonate with that. I think a few of you might actually resonate with that as well. Because it's like someone's telling you this is the way you have to do this. This is the way this is done. And you're like, no, that doesn't work for me. You need to give to that thing through time, love, energy, not from following the regiment. All right. So random. But for some of you, the deception is the isolation, right? If you've been isolating yourself and keeping yourself separate from others and not giving your time, your love, your energy to others around you, that is the deception, all right? That is the betrayal of self. It's time to start, blowing those flowers out into the universe, giving your time, your love, your energy, and knowing that you will receive, and knowing that all the seeds that you plant are going to grow into something absolutely amazing, Pisces. I'm just picking up for some of you, it's time to get back into the world. Yeah, it's time to get back out there, put yourself back out there and be a little bit more vulnerable. Stop holding yourself separate. Stop isolating yourself because you're afraid of getting bit. Bitten once, twice shy, no more, Pisces. Okay, so put it out there to the universe that I want more. I want the seeds I plant, and I want them to grow into something amazing. And knowing that the seed I'm planting for some of you is, I'm not going to isolate myself anymore. I'm going to plant myself into the universe, into the world, into my community, back into my friends groups or whatever. Put myself out there in some kind of way. I'm not going to keep myself locked away in this tower anymore. It's time to start giving to the world again. All right. So a bit of random messages there. I hope that there was something in there for you. But that's what we've got for Pisces today. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Definitely subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you all again soon.